Carlisle blues, Carlisle blues, trading your moccasins for white man's shoes. The Carlisle blues, Carlisle blues, 7 generations got the Carlisle blues. 7 generations got the Carlisle blues.
Okay, it's recording at the red.
Hi everybody, welcome back to the Redeye Reader. Okay, that's enough of Mr. Goofy. When I had my bookstore downtown Lansing, you never knew what was coming through the door, literally. And I've heard every con job, wino story, sob story, some legitimate, granted some were legitimate, most were not, most were very creative. I was very surprised. And one day, I think it was my first summer there, one day this hippie looking character came through the front door carrying a guitar case, and I thought, oh man, pawnbroker, you know, Rod Steiger, move over. But it turned out that he just wanted to play in front of the store, and believe me, it's some of the best music I've heard in years. The guy is really, really very good, and he would play for an hour or two in front, and during the lunch hour typically, maybe just a half hour, and in a half hour or an hour, he made more money than I did all week. Well, that doesn't say much about bookstores, I guess, but this gentleman is very, very talented. He's local. We're lucky to have him around. And on top of his talent, both instrumental, musical, and song, voice is excellent. He's a really good guy on top of all that. So let us introduce Michael Medicine Crow Hyatt, and we're going to have an interview with him. And Mike, my apologies for the delay on this. It's just you'd have to get up here in this clutter someday and see what it's like. Okay, thanks everybody. And at the end of this video, you're going to have a place, a website where you can buy his CDs, which are excellent and relatively nicely priced. Okay, thanks.
There are men who spend their lives fighting their way to the top, and when they finally get there, they're still holding up. Well, I'm fighting too, but I'm fighting my way to you.
Mike, we're really glad you could come and play today, and
Glad to be here.
And we'll do part of this interview. If we don't get it all done, we'll finish it. And I want to ask some of the very typical questions. How long you been in this field, and what prompted you to get into music?
I was kicked out of piano lessons when I was like 10 or 11.
Probably rightfully so.
Yeah, well, yeah, I played by ear. I wouldn't read the music. I wouldn't play off the sheet music. So I had 2 different piano teachers fire me. So when I was about 14, after a few years of floundering around and listening to Beatles records and Bob Dylan and stuff like that, my mom bought me a gut string guitar, cheap Japanese-made gut string guitar.
Well, here we are. We're doing another Redeye Reader video, and we are at Gone Wired Cafe, and there goes Mark. You just missed him. He was the guy that made my t-shirts down at the bookstore when I was downtown. And there's Nick, my old buddy Nick. Remember, many of you will remember him as a volunteer down there. But the real subject of today's video is none other than, if you don't recognize him, and most of you will, this is Michael Hyatt, or Medicine Crow, a local musician, and actually I'm quite confident he's regionally recognized.
Let's hope so.
And we'll pick up where we left off last time. We were at my book sale, And we had covered, I believe, your early interest in first guitar, I think it was.
Yeah.
So let me ask you this: of all the young, I don't, I'd say around 8 or 9 years old, what music influenced you the most?
Peter, Paul, and Mary, and Joan Baez, and then Judy Collins. This is sort of almost chronological because we got a record player when I don't remember how old I was, but like a stereo with albums and stuff. Before that we had little ones that would play 45s, but the first record player that I was able to have access to and function. And we had Peter, Paul, and Mary records and Joan Baez.
45s?
Nope.
No.
Albums.
LPs?
LPs, yep. And then we had, let me think. Judy Collins, then various other folk artists like the Chad Mitchell Trio and groups like
So
that.
this would be like in the 60s?
Yeah.
Pretty much?
Yeah, early 60s.
Were you influenced by any gospel music at all?
Not much, no, church music mostly, and that would be Catholic church music.
Catholic
so
church music.
Liturgical music. And,
What about country western?
not much, no, didn't listen to that in our house. I think it was probably forbidden.
So
I'm not certain, but my
pretty
mother-
much the folk scene, so
right.
to speak.
Folk music and rock and roll. We had played the radio all the time.
Yeah.
And a radio station out of Detroit, not actually out of Windsor, CKLW.
Yeah. Well, where are you from? I thought you were from this area.
No, I'm from Lenawee County,
Really?
Deerfield, which is so sort of triangulate between Detroit, Ann Arbor, and Toledo, and that's where I came from.
So how long have you been in this area?
I moved up here in '75. Yeah, fall of '75 to go to Michigan State.
And
I finally graduated from Michigan State in 1987. So,
well, join the club.
I was an 11-year undergraduate. So.
Well, Mike, when you had all this influence of music when you were growing up, and your interest in the guitar,
Right.
And you played, you thought you played well.
Yeah.
And do you recall? I'm sure you do. Your first public appearance.
Yeah,
Even if you had to force it on your audience.
Right. No, it was my sister. My oldest sister went to Siena Heights College in Adrian, Michigan, and they did I don't remember. They call it a hootenanny or something, but it was a folk music. They brought in these guys, two guys, Titus and Ross, they called themselves, and they were a clone of Simon and Garfunkel. So they did all their songs and everything, and I got to play a couple of songs for that.
How old were you? Roughly.
14 maybe. 15 maybe. I don't remember exactly. I think maybe 14 or 15. And then and that wasn't a very good performance, but I but I didn't know any better,
And didn't care.
Yeah, well, I cared, but I didn't know any better. So, and then I was never, early on, most of my playing I did in my bedroom or on street corners. I did that for, when I graduated from high school. I grabbed the guitar and packed a backpack and a sleeping bag and went off traveling.
That's very admirable. I really like that.
Well, I had my senior year of high school. I had read both On the Road and The Dharma Bums by Jack Kerouac. So I was determined that I was going to go out and live an adventurous life.
Off you went.
Yeah.
Well, now after that On the Road venture,
right.
Where did you settle in at?
Well, I went back to my hometown in Deerfield, and how do I say this delicately? I got a girl pregnant, and we